All right, class. So in this next video, I'm going to show you how you can make an object move. Okay, so here that would be like an object moving. The scissor is moving and it's cutting part of the pipe and it's falling down. All right, so this might be, like I said, this is a little bit more complex animation that I created as my example. But I want you to you can even just create like an object that's just moving across the page as well. But I want to show you how my layers work. So remember, it's like a flip book. So you have layer 0. You can even name them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So layer 0 is my first one that it moves through. This is just the original image. Then you can see in layer 2, I added a scissor. So I added a scissor using the custom shape tool. Layer 3, I actually cut and manipulated the scissor so that it looks like it's in a cutting shape rather than an open shape. Okay, so I actually cut the scissor to make it look that way. And I moved it. So I moved it from here, changed the shape of it, and moved it closer to the pipe or the line so that it looks like it's ready to cut into that shape. In my next layer, I return back to my original scissor, but then I also deleted part of the pipe and created a shape that looks like that is falling from that space. And then in the last layer, I left everything the same, but I created another shape. I got rid of the old shape and created another one so that it looks like it's falling down from that space. All right, so that would be movement. All right, so how would you do this? I'm going to create a new file. Okay. Now let's go back to these flip books again, right? So you can see here, let's just look at the shark. So the shark is slowly coming out more and more in each frame as it's moving along. So each layer that you create, that image is going to move slightly. So let's just use, actually, you know what? I think I have shape. I have fish in here. Let's see if I can find a fish. There we go. Okay. So I could have a fish coming out from here. Make him orange. Okay. And I'm going to just continue to duplicate it. Unless you want to change the size of it, it should really stay the same exact. Okay. Then I'm going to move it depending on where I want the fish to go. So you can space it out a good amount. You can also rotate it. Maybe he's going to be swimming up. Duplicate layer. Move it. Maybe I'm going to have him swim back down again. Okay. And then I'm going to duplicate the layer. Whoops. I don't know, I just did there. Duplicate layer and maybe I'm going to have him as if he's swimming around in a circle. Okay. So we'll do more layers here. So he's coming back into the picture. Whoops. His doll. There we go. Okay. I could even have him as if he's swimming like up and around. All right, so that'll be my last one. So he's going off the page. Okay, so if I wanted to see what's happening here as my layers just disappear, I can start from the beginning. Okay, so the fish is coming in, swimming around. So I'm going to turn them on and off. So he's going to look like this. I'm going to come here, then there. Whoops, he's back around again. All right, so I might actually move this one in a little bit. So you can kind of play around with, I don't like that, with each of your layers. Maybe I'll rotate it like that. I'm going to go like that. All right, so another thing, just remember that each of these do not have a background. So what I'm going to do is create a background. So I'm going to just really quickly delete my background copy, and I'm going to duplicate it a few times. And like I said, there are many, many different approaches to this. This is Mrs. Dauble's version. This is how I would approach it, but as you know, right now, there are many different approaches to many tools in Photoshop. And if you know another way that you would maybe do this, then by all means go for it. If you see a tutorial online that goes over animation and you find it easier than my approach, then try it out. I don't want to delete that. So I'm going to duplicate this layer and add it here. Okay, I'm going to duplicate one more time. Okay, I'm going to merge that. Okay, so each of my layers now is a white background with a fish in it. Okay, so now let's try this out. So I opened up my timeline, and I'm going to create a frame animation. I'm going to make frames from layers. I'm going to play it forever, so it's going to loop around. And I might actually make it each of these 2 seconds as he swims around. Okay, so let's play this out. Okay, so you can see now that's my fish. So it's a little bit, it's not really as smooth as I would like it. So, you know, that might mean that I might change up and move some of the positions of the fish. Another thing too, these are basic animations, okay? There are many other programs that you can use for animation, but being that we're working in Photoshop, these are animation tools that you can use in this program. All right, so I hope that you challenge yourself and try to attempt some of these different approaches to animation with your letter form.